Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Now on WRAL News on Fox 50, a father is connected to a missing 9-year-old girl from Robinson County. This morning, you'll hear about the other case he's connected to.
Also here in the WRAL Traffic Center, Sky 5 over the scene of a water main break there on Crabtree Boulevard. I'll tell you exactly what's going on and how to get around this closure.
And we're looking at a warmer start this morning, anywhere from the mid-50s to low 60s. I'll show you how much warmer it'll be this afternoon, too.
And with days to go before Election Day, both presidential candidates are working to earn your vote. We're going to catch you up on the campaign stops happening today here locally, and we do have team coverage of that on WRAL News. Hey, thanks so much for waking up with us this morning, this Wednesday. I almost said Thursday. Don't say the wrong day.
Not yet.
I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. We're in for a nice Wednesday. You just mentioned the candidates are going to be here in North Carolina. They have a really nice day for it. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look over southeast Wake County. A little chilly now, but it's going to warm up nicely.
And we're going to see temperatures close to 80 this afternoon. Lots of cloud cover here as we're looking off to the west. And in some parts of the viewing area, we're seeing a nice sunny start. We'll start to see more sunshine breaking out over the triangle in the next few hours. 62 is the temperature at RDU as you're heading out the door. And the dew point's up to 58, and that is definitely higher. More moisture in the atmosphere this morning, and that's what's bringing us some of these clouds. It's 55 in Roxborough, 58 in Rocky Mount, 55 in Southern Pines. And we're in the low 60s in the triangle area right now, which is about 17 degrees warmer than it was this time yesterday. That's a pretty big jump. We're not seeing quite as big a jump in some of our southern counties, but definitely looking at a much warmer afternoon with high temperatures close to 80 degrees. It will end up being partly cloudy. Halloween planners still looking good too. We'll see dry conditions at trick-or-treat time. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 70s. We do have a front that'll come through that will drop our temperatures a bit for the weekend. I'll show you what our chances are of rain with that coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening right now, a traffic alert in northeast Raleigh. You really want to avoid the 2400 block of Crabtree Boulevard. It's closed between Capitol Boulevard and Raleigh Boulevard as a result of a water main break. It happened earlier this morning. Sky 5 is over that scene right now to show exactly what's going on. City crews are on that scene working to repair that, and what they're calling a water system repair. This is, again, between Capitol Boulevard and Raleigh Boulevard this morning. We're being told that this work could continue well into the afternoon. You'll definitely want to avoid that area, but if you have to navigate Crabtree Boulevard, there are detours in place that will take you over to Yonkers Road. We'll continue to keep an eye on that and let you know exactly what's going on and how this could continue to affect your morning commute. We are hearing that reports of a crash on Carytown Boulevard at I-40, and that's what's causing this slowdown that you're seeing right there in I-40 in those westbound lanes. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know how much that's going to continue to affect your morning commute. As we isolate the Beltline this morning, you can see that congestion all stretching all the way back to the southern loop of the Beltline, all the way back to Gorman Street this morning, as well as the northern loop of the Beltline coming off those I-87 southbound lanes. Down on Capitol Boulevard, you can see the congestion, the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning, courtesy of that live cam network there on I-440 and Capitol Boulevard. Definitely, we're seeing that slowdown on US 1 coming in from Apex this morning. I just checked the sensors. You're looking at maybe a 10-minute delay coming from all points south. So you might want to leave the house a little sooner than usual if you're coming from Apex this morning. Heading out this morning, we'll keep you updated. You can listen to us anywhere in the triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Breaking overnight, an Amber Alert is in place this morning for a 9-year-old girl out of Robinson County. Police are looking for Micaiah Strickland. She's 4'10". She's about 160 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes, and she was last seen on Corinth Road in Pembroke. She is believed to be with her father, Claude WRAL. He is 50 years old. He's 6'5" and about 280 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. He is wanted for questioning in reference to a death investigation. As for which investigation, we've asked Pembroke investigators, and we're told to check back in later this morning. But WRAL and his daughter may be in a blue 2011 Chevrolet Traverse with NC license plate LBL 1909. If you have any information about where they may be, call police.
Raleigh police were investigating an armed robbery at a Circle K gas station. This happened on New Bern Avenue this morning. Crime scene tape surrounded the gas station as officers investigated. And so we are working to learn if anyone was hurt and whether police have a suspect in custody.
Today, both presidential candidates are making a late push for support in North Carolina as we are just now 5 days away from the election. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at RDU this morning. And Kelsey, both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, they will be arriving in the next couple of hours.
Yes, Michelle, both Trump and Harris will be arriving here at RDU very soon. They're both honing in on North Carolina as we're now in the final countdown to Election Day. Vice President Kamala Harris will be making a campaign stop here in Raleigh. We're just getting new information now about her schedule within the last 15 minutes. So she will land at RDU just before 11:15. She should speak at 12:30 and then leave Raleigh around 2:30. Right now, we're working to find out more information about the specific location for that event. As she's visiting Raleigh, her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, will be in Charlotte and Asheville. Former President Donald Trump is scheduled to visit the Rocky Mount Event Center at 1 o'clock, and doors will open there at 9. So we'll be sure to have a team here at RDU to keep you updated on when both candidates arrive. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at RDU.
And we will have team coverage throughout the day. Brett Neese is covering the vice president's stop in Raleigh. Heidi Kirk will be in Rocky Mount for Trump's visit, and we will bring you live updates on WRAL.com and the WRAL News app.
New this morning, the results of a WRAL News poll conducted by Survey USA on the race for North Carolina governor. These new numbers show Republican challenger Mark Robinson has not been able to close the gap between him and Democratic nominee Josh Stein with less than a week to go before Election Day. The poll shows a 15-point lead for Stein. He has 52% compared to Robinson's 37%. 10% of voters are undecided and 1% say they plan to vote third party. This comes after CNN published a report alleging that Robinson made lewd and racist comments on a pornographic website more than a decade ago. WRAL News poll results yesterday showed a tie in the presidential race between Trump and Harris. And new data we'll release later today shows other state races are much closer. One political scientist says Robinson's waning support doesn't seem to be affecting other GOP candidates.
What you're seeing is voters are sort of putting Mark Robinson in his own box. They are considering him separate from the rest of this ticket.
And coming up in the next half hour, we'll look at how this race appears to be affecting the presidential race.
Just a reminder, you can go to WRAL.com to see our complete article about the poll results and the race to win North Carolina. Later today, our Capitol Bureau Chief, Laura Leslie, will dig deeper into the numbers. And tonight at 6, we'll break down results in the closely watched race for state superintendent. That appears to be much closer than the race for governor. Your time is 8:07. Breaking news. A building was damaged during an early morning fire in Johnston County. This happened on Booker Dairy Road. Authorities say this building is used for CBD storage. 3 fire departments had to be called to this, but despite all of it, no one was injured.
A North Carolina man known as the AK Guru is accused of making and selling more than 1,000 fully automatic guns from his home. The FBI says 72-year-old Earl Carter, he made and sold the guns from his home in Hamlet, that's near the South Carolina border. A confidential informant in Wake County tipped the FBI about Carter's operation. According to an arrest document, Carter is now facing charges including conspiracy to manufacture and deal in firearms without a license. And for the second day in a row, extra law enforcement and Wake School security will be at Broughton High School today. The school, they had to go into code red lockdown yesterday. Someone reported a student had a gun on campus. Authorities searched that school. They did not find a gun. Police tell us a student was detained in connection to what happened, but the department did not say how that student was connected, just that it was part of the investigation. This comes days after another student was found with a gun off campus.
Your child's school district may soon have a district-wide cell phone policy. How you can give your input to Wake County school leaders about the new rules for phones in the class.
Plus, fall allergy season is likely to last longer this year and in the future. Why doctors say a warming climate is to blame for those sniffles.
And speaking of warming climate, look at this, nearly 80 degrees for the next 3 days. That does mean it should be comfortable for Halloween. I'll show you the trick-or-treat temperatures coming up. Welcome back. Check out this beautiful view over Fayetteville this morning. The rising sun. It is just gorgeous, and it's feeling more mild out there this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has a look around town. Some of us seeing those clouds, but again, it's feeling nice out there. Really variable across our area this morning. Of course, there's that fateful shot that we saw with some sunshine. And here in Apex, clouds are here and then blue sky here. So as you're looking west from Apex, you're seeing the back end of those clouds there. But it looks pretty gray in Chapel Hill as well as here in Raleigh. We will end up seeing partly cloudy skies this afternoon. So just dealing with some low cloud cover this morning. And you can see that here on Futurecast here at around 8 a.m. Those clouds are starting to break up, but look at what happens by lunchtime. Most of the clouds are gone, with just a few coming back here and there, maybe later on this evening. It's dry today. It'll be a warm day, but our next cold front comes in on Friday night, and that could bring us an isolated shower. It'll be really warm between now and then. So today, tomorrow, and Friday, well above normal, but we'll cool down behind the front over the weekend by about 10 degrees or so. Here's a look at the big picture. This high pressure system rotating clockwise is feeding in warm, moist air from the south. And so our dew points are up. There's more moisture in the atmosphere, which is where the clouds came from this morning. And then, of course, back to the west. Here comes the front, a little bit of rain with it. It's going to be a little bit like what we saw Sunday morning, where it was enough maybe to just wet the ground a little bit, but really nothing measurable in the rain gauges. But we'll walk you through it on Futurecast. This is 11 a.m. on Friday. Front is back to the west, and by Saturday morning, even Friday evening, a few showers developing in our northern counties, and that's really about where it stays. We may see nothing in the south, but early Saturday morning there could still be a sprinkle if you're out early, and then that's going to be the end of it. In terms of anything measurable, it's unlikely. We're probably talking about just a few hundredths of an inch of rain from the Triangle area northward. This warmer weather really heating us up just in time for Halloween. I'm not sure if the skeleton is happy about this or not. There he goes. But that southerly flow really heating things up for us. Tomorrow's high 78, 80 degrees in Raleigh and 82 in Fayetteville. So no jacket, no coat, no umbrella for tomorrow evening, but a flashlight. We actually have a new moon, meaning there won't be much light in the sky. 76 at 5 o'clock tomorrow, 71 at 7 o'clock. So those trick-or-treat temperatures really look comfortable. A quick look at the tropics. Still a 40% chance of development in the Caribbean, but in the last 24 hours, most of the models have sort of given up expecting that to develop, but we'll keep watching it. From Friday at 81 to 71 on Saturday, and then, of course, the time change. I'll show you the big difference in sunset between Saturday and Sunday coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now. A traffic alert in northeast Raleigh. We've been on top of this for the last hour or so. You want to avoid Crabtree Boulevard between Capitol Boulevard and Raleigh Boulevard because of a water main break. We got some video courtesy of the breaking news tracker this morning. You can see crews have been on that scene trying to what they're calling a water system repair in that area between Capitol Boulevard and Raleigh Boulevard on Crabtree Boulevard this morning. We're told that this work could stretch well into the afternoon, and you want to avoid this area altogether. If you do have to navigate Crabtree Boulevard this morning, there are detours in place in terms of Yonkers Road, so keep that in mind as well. We're seeing a bit of a slowdown in Cary on I-40. We're told there's a crash near I-40 and Carytown Boulevard that's causing this delay that stretches all the way back to the southern loop of the Beltline this morning. So you want to keep that in mind if you're getting ready to head out, and that southern loop is part of your commute, because as we isolate the Beltline, we're seeing the congestion building on the northern loop of the Beltline as well. So let's take a spin around the Beltline and show you what we're talking about. This is a congestion. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us there, courtesy of I-40 and Lake Weedle Road. On the northern loop, you've got the Capitol Boulevard camera, the congestion, the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know exactly what's going on here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
Meantime, traffic is building right around Coastal Credit Union Music Park. We have a live look from Sky 5 right now, because when Kamala Harris lands just after 11 a.m. over at RDU International Airport, she'll be making a quick trip over to Coastal Credit Union Music Park. You can see folks are lining up for that event. Her remarks at 12:30 this afternoon expected, as the two Trump and Harris campaigns are battling in this battleground state of North Carolina. Just less than 6 days to go until Election Day, making their final pitches. North Carolina has 16 electoral college votes, so that makes it a make or break battleground state here to decide who wins the election. These fans lined up outside Coastal Credit Union Music Park. We are getting video into the WRAL newsroom right now from over in Rocky Mount, where Donald Trump will be visiting as well. And we will have video of that coming in momentarily. I'll bring that to you when it comes in.
All right, thanks, Jeff. President Joe Biden is trying to clean up controversy days before the election after calling former President Trump's supporters garbage during a call with Latino voting organizers.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
In a post to X hours later, Biden said that he only meant the original comment by Trump supporting comedian Tony Hinchcliffe was garbage. Former President Trump responded to Biden's comment during a rally last night in Pennsylvania.
Remember Hillary? She said deplorable. And then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable. That didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know. You have to please forgive him.
Trump did not mention the original garbage remark made by Hinchcliffe during the rally.
Kamala Harris is calling on Americans to, quote, turn the page on the Donald Trump era. Harris made her final case to voters on why she's the better choice for president. She was speaking from the same location as former President Donald Trump before the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. Harris gave an optimistic message about the country's direction if she's elected.
I pledge to you to approach my work with the joy and optimism that comes from making a difference in people's lives. And I pledge to be a president for all Americans.
The Harris campaign estimates more than 75,000 people were at her rally.
Durham police are investigating a shooting that injured a man. This happened at 7:30 last night on Dayton Street. Police found a man who had been shot. They say he is expected to live. If you have any information about this case, call police.
Wake County school district leaders want to know what you think about students and teachers using technology in the classroom. In Wake County, each school sets its technology policy. School board members believe it's time for a district-wide standard. School board chairman Chris Haggerty says the policies are not consistent and not enough.
We really want to look at what other districts are doing, what are the best policies in place to make sure, especially if a child has a health need, that an accommodation can be made. But at the same time, if a communication isn't essential, can it wait until the child's out of class?
The survey will launch next month, and that'll happen after district leaders explain how they plan to put the policy into place and who it covers. By March, the district plans to come up with options for an updated cell phone policy.
Doctors say allergy season is likely to last longer than usual because of climate change. Warmer temperatures allow allergens to stick around. Sean Langiel explains how to thrive this fall, even when you come in contact with those allergens.
A symphony of sniffles is echoing across the country, and a longer fall allergy season is largely to blame. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has forecasted warm and dry autumn conditions for much of the country. Scientists have also predicted warmer than average winter temperatures across large parts of the South, Great Lakes region, New England, and beyond.
Ragweed and mold are the two most common allergens right now. And because of climate change, warmer temperatures are lasting longer, and we have not had solid frost to stop the allergens from producing.
With many families diving into piles of leaves and using hay to stuff scarecrows, you could be coming into direct contact with a number of allergy triggers.
Mold thrives in damp leaf piles, which we have a lot of right now.
Doctors recommend reducing exposure to pollen.
You can find pollen forecasts online. Keep windows closed in your home and in your car. Consider washing your hands and your face after you've been outside. Over-the-counter or prescription-strength antihistamines can help.
But don't lock yourself indoors. Instead, head out during these low pollen times.
In the fall, ragweed tends to peak in the morning time.
Common allergy symptoms can include congestion, scratchy throat, and itchy eyes. Because we're also getting deeper into cold and flu season, how can you tell the difference?
When we compare allergies versus a cold, with a cold we often see fever, body aches, and fatigue.
That was Sean Langiel with that story. Today, we'll get a better look at the Biltmore estate before it reopens this weekend. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan will be there to share how the estate is preparing to welcome guests. Tonight at 6 on WRAL, she will take you behind the scenes as they raise the holiday centerpiece, a 35-foot Fraser fir. Beginning Saturday, you will be able to visit the estate for Christmas at Biltmore.
Do you think your house is haunted and you have the doorbell camera footage to prove it? Well, you could enter a contest and win big. The security company Ring is sharing some submissions for its ghost search competition. Look at these. The prize is $100,000. You think that's a ghost right there? I think it is. You can still send in unedited spooky clips from the Ring app. You submit them to ring.com/ghost search by this Friday.
I'm sure they won't see any doctored video at all. With 6 days left until Election Day, both presidential candidates are vying for your vote. We'll talk about the traffic delays you might just encounter as former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris visit the area.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Ken Smith tracking some backups on the roads, Ken.
Yeah, we have some congestion building on our major roadways this morning. The 87 lanes coming in from Zebulon as well as the Beltline this morning. But we want to focus on the traffic alert in northeast Raleigh. The 2400 block of Crabtree Boulevard closed between Capitol Boulevard and Raleigh Boulevard as a result of a water main break. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker has some video of that scene this morning, and we'll show that to you at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50. But you'll want to avoid this area altogether. There's a detour in place that will take you over to Yonkers Road. I'd have an update for you at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
And taking a look at Apex, a little bit of clear sky down off in the distance, but some clouds still overhead. Warmer temperatures this morning. Check this out. 50s and 60s showing up. 55 in Lewisburg, 55 Southern Pines, 57 in Irwin and South Hill. And in the Triangle, it is 62 right now. So it feels comfortable for exercise this morning. We'll see a warm afternoon at almost 80 degrees, but this evening we're back down into the 70s pretty quickly.
Thanks, Elizabeth. An Amber Alert is in place this morning for a 9-year-old girl out of Pembroke. Police are looking for Micaiah Strickland. She was last seen on Corinth Road in Pembroke. She is believed to be with her father, Claude WRAL. They may be in a blue 2011 Chevrolet Traverse with NC license plate LBL 1909. And Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump will be in North Carolina today as the race is in a dead heat in our state. The vice president will be in Raleigh for an event this morning, and the former president is scheduled to appear at an event in Rocky Mount at 1 p.m. Next on Fox 50, the results of a WRAL news poll showing where the support stands in the race for governor. And next on Today, Keith Urban performs on the Today Plaza.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50 at 8:30, a father at the center of an Amber Alert is wanted for questioning in a death investigation. The update we're expecting at any moment about why authorities are looking for him and his 9-year-old daughter from Robeson County.
Plus, a Raleigh gas station is now back open after a reported robbery and police investigation. We're going to take you to the scene to explain what investigators have revealed so far.
And it's a really warm start out there this morning. Temperatures in the mid-50s to low 60s. Of course, that means a warm afternoon, too. I'll show you how high we'll get.
And Vice President Harris and former President Trump will make stops in North Carolina today. This is a live look right now at Harris's campaign stop in Raleigh. And hundreds of people are already lined up in Rocky Mount to see the candidates as well. We will have much more on that coming up for you this morning on your Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Levingood. Yeah, we'll have Heidi Kirk. She'll be covering former President Donald Trump's rally. And then we have Brett Neese covering Kamala Harris's rally. So a lot of things that we are watching here, but not just obviously politics. We're also watching the weather. Specifically, Elizabeth Gardner is watching that. Pretty cloudy in Durham behind you.
It is. We take a look here and you can see gray skies as we're looking past downtown here. 62 degrees, though, is the temperature around the Triangle. And our dew point is 58. And so that's a little on the high high side. It's still going to feel pretty comfortable this afternoon, but a little extra moisture in the atmosphere is where we're getting the clouds from this morning, and we'll probably see that again tomorrow morning and Friday morning. 57 South Hill, 55 in Fayetteville, Goldsboro, and in Southern Pines. These temperatures in some places are 10 to 15 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. As a matter of fact, in Roxborough, 22 degrees warmer. So pretty big jump in our temperature, and we'll see that jump this afternoon as well as we climb up to almost 80 degrees. Now, the clouds we're seeing this morning are likely to break up this afternoon, and we'll see partly cloudy skies across our area. Halloween planners still looking good. We'll see partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Trick-or-treat time temperatures starting off in the mid-70s, dropping down into the upper 60s before it's all over. Biggest weather maker comes in Friday night with a small chance for rain. We'll take a look at that coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now, a traffic alert. We're on top of that in northeast Raleigh this morning. You want to avoid the 2400 block of Crabtree Boulevard between Capitol Boulevard and Raleigh Boulevard this morning as a result of a water main break happened earlier this morning. Sky 5, we have video from the WRAL breaking news tracker to show you exactly what's going on right now. Crews have been working to repair this for the last several hours. We're told that this work could stretch well into the afternoon. You definitely want to avoid this area, but if you have to navigate Crabtree Boulevard, you can take a detour on Yonkers Road. Those detours are in place. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know how that's going to continue to affect your morning commute. There's a crash on I-40 near Carytown Boulevard that's affecting your morning commute this morning. You can see the delays that's stretching all the way back to the southern loop of the Beltline. This is what it looks like right now on I-40 and Carytown Boulevard. Those are the I-40 westbound lanes moving away from us. Clearly, that crash seems to be in the clearing phase, which is a good thing this morning. But I'll keep an eye on that and let you know exactly what's going on. Isolating the Beltline this morning, we're seeing the usual congestion building on the northern loop of the Beltline as well as the southern loop of the Beltline. Usually, you're looking at a 3 to 5 minute delay. Down east, this crash on I-87 in the southbound lanes near Lizard Lake Road causing quite a bit of a slowdown. Of course, you know, Highway 97, Gannon Road, is a nice alternate route for you if you want to avoid I-87 this morning. So give yourself some extra time if you still have to navigate I-87 this morning. If you're heading out, take us with you on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Folks, please pay attention. An Amber Alert is in place from Robeson County this morning for a 9-year-old girl. Please look at your screen. Investigators are searching for Micaiah Strickland. She is 4'10" and about 160 pounds. She has brown hair, brown eyes, and was last seen on Corinth Road in Pembroke. She's believed to be with her father on the right side of your screen. That is Claude WRAL. He is 50 years old, 6'5" and about 280 pounds. He is wanted for questioning in reference to a death investigation. Now, as for which investigation, we have reached out to Pembroke investigators, and we were told to check later this morning. WRAL and his daughter might be in a blue 2011 Chevy Traverse with the NC license plate tag LBL1909. If you have any information about where they could be, you can call police.
Raleigh police were investigating an armed robbery at a Circle K gas station on New Bern Avenue this morning. Crime scene tape surrounded the gas station as officers there investigated. We are working to learn if anyone was hurt and whether police have a suspect in custody.
We are days away from Election Day, and today both presidential candidates are not letting up, pushing for support here in North Carolina. The race is tight. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us at RDU. And Kelsey, hundreds of people are already lining up for Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump's events today.
Yes, Chris, they are. So Harris will be arriving here at RDU very soon. Both Trump and Harris are honing in on North Carolina as we're now in the final countdown to Election Day. But we'll take you straight to some live Sky 5 videos so you can see people gathering for Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign event. That's at Coastal Credit Union Music Park at Walnut Creek in Raleigh. Now, Harris is landing at RDU just before 11:15 today. She will speak at 12:30 and then leave Raleigh around 2:30. And as she's visiting Raleigh, her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, will be in Charlotte and Asheville. We'll take you to some video now so you can see crowds gathering in Rocky Mount this morning to hear former President Donald Trump speak. He's scheduled to speak at the Rocky Mount Event Center at 1 o'clock today. So we'll have a team here at RDU to keep you updated on when Harris arrives here. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at RDU.
And we will have team coverage throughout the day covering all of this. Brett Neese is covering the vice president's stop in Raleigh, and Heidi Kirk will be in Rocky Mount for Trump's visit. We'll bring you live updates on WRAL.com and on the WRAL News app.
A new WRAL News poll released this morning shows strong support for current State Attorney General Josh Stein in the race for governor. The statewide poll shows a 15-point lead for Stein. 52% of respondents say they have or plan to vote for him. That number is 37% for Robinson. 10% of voters are undecided, and 1% say they plan to vote third party. WRAL News poll results Tuesday showed a tie for the presidential race between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. Political scientist David McClendon says less support for Robinson does not seem to be affecting other GOP candidates.
We've seen over the course of several decades, political ads have really lost a lot of impact. Just in general, people are paying less attention to them. They're doing their own research.
The poll has a credibility interval of 4.1 percentage points. Basically, that's a number similar to a margin of error, but it takes more factors into account.
So you can go to WRAL.com right now to see our complete article on the poll results and the race to win North Carolina. Later today, our Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie digs deeper into the numbers. And tonight at 6, we'll break down results in a closely watched race for state superintendent, which appears much closer than the race for governor. Well, more than 3 million people have already cast their ballots statewide. That's 39.7% voter turnout. In Wake County alone, nearly 340,000 people have cast a ballot. A reminder, if you plan to vote early, you have until this Saturday, November 2nd.
Your time is 8:38. A driver is facing charges this morning because of a crash into a home in Johnston County. Look at the damage here. It is extensive at this house near Smithfield. Now, no one was in the home when this happened. As it turns out, the people who lived there moved out 2 weeks ago. Wilson's Mills police says that an officer tried to stop the car for speeding. That happened in a work zone on US 70. And then the chase happened. Police say the officer stopped the chase after the driver turned off his lights, and a short time later, the vehicle crashed into a house on Creech's Mill Road. We talked with the owners of the house who described what happened.
He came down this road, bumped the lady's car about a quarter of a mile up the road, came off the road, came through the front yard of this house and entered the bedroom of our house.
Now, the driver of that vehicle was taken to the hospital. We are working to learn how badly injured they are and what charges they could face.
Oh, the New York Yankees are hanging on by a thread. The World Series is heading to a Game 5. Anthony Volpe had a grand slam in the third inning to put the Yankees ahead of the Dodgers in Game 4. The Yankees went on to win big 11-4. They still trail the Dodgers 3-1 in the series. The Dodgers will try again to close it out in Game 5. That's happening at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, boy, Michelle, we got to talk about this. 2 fans were ejected because one of them pried a foul ball from the glove of Dodgers right fielder Mookie Betts. Betts leaped at the wall to try to catch that ball from Yankees second baseman Gleyber Torres. Now, a fan in the stands there, the first row in fact, grabbed Betts' glove with both hands and then pulled the ball out. Torres was called out on fan interference, and again, those fans were ejected.
Oh, I saw that in real time. That was crazy. And even in the loss, a big moment for Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers. He hit a 2-run home run in the first inning to put them up 2-0. He's now hit a home run in each of the first 4 games in the series. He is the first player to ever do that. He homered in 6 straight World Series games he's played. That includes his last 2 games with the Atlanta Braves in the 2021 World Series.
Triangle area election workers are taking serious precautions this election cycle. The situation workers faced when a hazmat team responded to a suspicious package.
And a Halloween decoration is getting some mixed responses in Wake Forest. How the town stepped in when people complained that the decoration was offensive.
And let's get you a live look this morning at North Hills. Cloudy, folks, but after a couple of gorgeous fall days, we are in set for a big warm up. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will show us how warm it's going to get for trick-or-treaters tomorrow. We heard you like clouds, so here's a camera with a lot of clouds as we look at the North Hills this morning. As you're watching WRAL News, available on Hulu and the WRAL app on your TV or your streaming device. You know what? The last couple days felt like fall. Ate a little soup, ate a little chili. Perfect time for it. But things are warming up I got to change the diet for the next couple of days, Elizabeth.
Back to summer feeling stuff, right? We take a live look at what's happening in downtown Raleigh right now and looking down toward Memorial Auditorium, courtesy of the Jimmy V camera. Not a lot of folks walking around, but certainly not as many heavy jackets as we saw yesterday. Temperatures are a lot warmer in most places. 62, the current temperature around the Triangle. The dew point's up a little bit too, and of course that's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. That's one of the reasons that we have a lot of cloud cover in the Triangle area right now. We are seeing a little bit more sunshine down to the south, but we do have a flow of moisture that's coming in off the Atlantic, and that puts some moisture in place over us for some clouds. Now, as we get into the afternoon, we start to warm things up. A lot of those clouds will dissipate. So after lunchtime, we'll be partly cloudy across most of the region. Our temperature this afternoon in the upper 70s, well above normal. If you're voting today, later on after work, temperatures will still be in the low 70s. So very comfortable day today. We're seeing a lot of color across our area right now. Mary Jane Thomas sent us this gorgeous photo from Vass. The pretty orange trees and that beautiful blue sky, gorgeous. We would also love to see your Weather Watcher photos. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and you can upload a few. 69 is our normal high, so we are a good 10 degrees plus above that for the next several days. But Saturday and Sunday will be cooler behind Friday's front. Friday's front isn't likely to bring us much rain, but it will drop our temperatures. 80 degrees in Raleigh for tomorrow for Halloween, and the record high for Halloween, 85 degrees. And Fayetteville, 82 tomorrow, and the record high 86. Your Halloween planner continues to look great. We really haven't had to change it up too much this week. Temperatures at the beginning of the evening in the mid 70s, and then toward the end of the evening in the upper 60s. And of course, you don't need a raincoat or an umbrella. Everything just looks lovely. We also have the time change that happens this weekend, another sure sign of fall. And we get an hour of sleep back, which is wonderful. But of course, we shift everything earlier. Our sunrise on Sunday will be at 6:46 and the sunset at 5:19, an hour earlier than what we're seeing right now. Over the weekend, we also are proud sponsors of the City of Oaks Marathon. It's a huge event in downtown Raleigh. Temperatures look good for the runners. It may be a little cloudy on Sunday morning, but it's not likely to rain. Temperatures at race time in the mid 50s. And then once we get toward, say, lunchtime or so, temperature in the upper 60s. But still, I mean, a little bit warm for the runners, but it could certainly be worse. So we go from 81 on Friday into the 70s over the weekend. We're back to almost 80 degrees for Election Day next Tuesday.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Parents in Cumberland County are upset over allegations involving a now former substitute teacher. 31-year-old Brandon Crumrati is charged with taking indecent liberties with a student at Nick Gerald's middle school. This is where this all happened. Fayetteville police say the charges stem from incidents that happened last school year. Parents who reached out to us online expressed their concerns, including some who said you have to worry about other kids hurting your kids, and you have to worry about your teachers hurting your kids. Advocates are calling on parents to push school leaders to set the standard for what's expected of student-teacher behavior.
School administrators get down into the details as to what they're really doing to prioritize the safety of children.
Cumberland County School says it conducts through thorough background checks on all employees, including substitute teachers.
A person who led officers on a high-speed chase last week on NC 540 in Wake County is now in custody. This is video from last Thursday. Police say 31-year-old Devontae Watkins led officers on that chase and then ran away. He faces several charges, including felony speeding and resisting an officer.
Election workers on the lookout for possible security issues with less than a week to go before election. Yesterday, the hazmat team responded to a report of a suspicious package at the Wake County Board of Elections. It turned out to be a box of cookies sent to the office as a thank you gift. Election workers say they are taking no chances, though. In Durham County, the Board of Elections has added bulletproof glass, ballistics doors, and a panic button at its office. It also has a mailroom with a separate exhaust system for possible hazardous substances.
It's not overkill. It's not a stretch. These are defenders of democracy. We're the front lines in making sure that we preserve this great experience that is America. And I think no cost. I don't think any cost is too much to ensure we're protected.
And boards of elections in North Carolina and 19 other states have received suspicious packages and letters in the last month.
A certain baby powder recall is expanding because of concerns of asbestos exposure. The FDA announced the Dynacare baby powder recall has been expanded to 1,020 cases. Now, this initial recall announced in September involved just 62 cases. The affected baby powder was shipped to 35 states and sold on Amazon. The FDA says the results from testing found some cases of the affected baby powder could be tainted with asbestos.
A family spooky tradition is sparking some controversy in Wake Forest. Take a look at this. This is the Halloween decoration that's at the center of it, a body hanging from a tree by its feet. The town says it received complaints that the image of a body hanging from a rope was offensive. A town employee came to the home yesterday and took it down while that homeowner was away. This video from the home's doorbell camera shows that. The town says it removed the decoration because it was hung in a tree on town property, not the homeowner's property. The homeowner says that he has had the decoration up for 3 years and hasn't had any complaints from trick-or-treaters.
A new Chinese space crew is now on board its Tiangong space station there. The 3-person crew arrived at the space station this morning. They're replacing astronauts who have been there for the last 6 months. China wants to expand its space exploration efforts. Leaders there are looking for cooperation from other countries.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, very excited to show you these live pictures right now. We'll take you to Asheville, right at the Biltmore, and this is the very moment. Live pictures. The video is coming in right now of the 35-foot Fraser Christmas tree that is going to go up in Biltmore Estate. Now, this is completely exciting because they're going to invite guests back in the building as well. So as we take a live look this weekend, it's reopening this weekend. Chelsea Donovan is there on the ground. That is the tree right there, 35-foot tall Fraser fir. And tonight at 6, Chelsea will be taking us behind the scenes as they raise that holiday centerpiece up inside the building. And then beginning Saturday, you will be able to go and visit for Christmas at Biltmore. So exciting, so encouraging as well as they recover from the storms from Helene.
So encouraging to see that. 8 weekends left before Christmas. Can you believe that? Thanks, Jeff. Well, as far back as she can remember, this week's Teacher of the Week has always loved art. And for the last 27 years, she's been sharing her creative passion with her students. WRAL's Ken Smith is in Wilson to surprise an educator at Bedingfield High School.
Make sure that you add in your detailing, shades, and highlights.
Tanya Harris Ellis is very familiar with Bedingfield High School. After all, it's her high school alma mater. That's one of the reasons she takes deep pride in bringing out the creative side of her students in her art classes.
So I just love it. 27 years, ooh, it's been a long time, but hey, I love it, I love it, I love it.
Ellis is a proud North Carolina Central University alum, which is one of the first things you notice when entering her classroom. Once inside, though, she especially loves the fact that art, like music, is a universal language.
It's like a light go off and a breath of fresh air because they bring so much life into it. And I want them to feel the experience that I feel, and they want me to feel what they feel. Okay, so you need to add in some shading and some highlights.
Her classroom, the walls, the hallway leading to her classroom, all part of an ever-changing tapestry of creativity on which Ellis thrives every day, and her students are the beneficiaries.
Even though I have technically 3 years left, I don't think I'm gonna stop anytime soon because I love them and I love my staff.
Miss Harris, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week.
What?
Yes, you are. Ken Smith, WRAL News.
That was the best reaction. I love that. If you'd like to nominate a teacher, you can go to WRAL.com and enter Teacher of the Week in the search box.
We'll put a little bell on.
Well, tonight your kids can have fun and you can learn more about Raleigh transportation projects at the same time. The city is hosting a transportation and treats event at Marsh Creek Community Center. That's from 4 to 7 tonight. These are pictures from last year's event. Kids can enjoy face painting and games, and they can ride e-bikes and scooters. Adults can learn about transportation projects and get information about jobs in the department.
Your time is 8:53. Before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers, just in case you missed them. We'll get you another check on weather and traffic in just a bit.